Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Hope you all are doing good. Today I'm going to teach you about animal world. To understand the topic that is animal world, we will be going through the following subtopics. First, we will discuss the general concept. Second, we will discuss the places where animals live. Third, we will discuss the sizes of animals. Fourth, we will discuss movement in animals. And at last, we will discuss movement on land. So let's start. First is the general concept. Different kinds of animals live in different kinds of places. We know that there are numerous animals that live on this earth. And we also know that they do not live at the same place. Have you ever seen a dog and a cat living at the same place? No. Why? Because they have separate places to live in. So their home, a place where we live, that's called as our home. So their homes are different from one another. They do not live at the same places but different. So the number of animals that are present on this earth, they live at different places. They live at different locations. Some animals live in water and some live on land. There are some animals which we will see that live in water. Can you name some animals that live in water? Yeah, it's fish, frog, whale, dolphin, shark, etc. So these are some animals which live in water. So water is the place, what is the home of these animals. Then there are some animals which we will see living on the land. And can you name some animals which live on land? Yes, there are so many. There is cow, there is horse, there's lion, there is tiger, there is elephant, and so on. So there are so many animals that live on land. So land is the place of these animals. Land is the home of these animals. Then some animals live on trees and some live under the ground. Then there are some animals which we will see living on a tree. So, have you seen any animal living on tree? I have seen monkey. Monkey is the animal that lives on a tree. There are so many birds that live on tree. They make their nests on the tree. So tree is the place where they live. Tree is their home. And then there are certain animals that live under the ground. Like there is rabbit, there is snake, there is earthworm. There are so many small insects that we see living under the ground. So this means that the animals that are present on this earth, they have different places to live on, they have different homes, they have different locations. I hope this is clear to you. Now moving on, here are some examples which will make your more clear which will make this topic more clear to you. So first in the picture there is this duck. A duck lives in water. Why does a duck live? Duck lives in water. So water is the place where it lives and water is the home of duck, right? Then a hen lives in a coop. So the place where a hen lives, that's called as coop. A rabbit lives in burrow. Then there is rabbit. Where does it live? Burrow. And a dog lives in kennel. So kennel is the place where a dog lives. So these are the names of some animals along with the name of their home. So what you have to do is you have to remember the name of the animal and the place where they live, the name of their home. Then, few more examples. A horse lives in a stable, a bird lives on a tree, a bee lives in beehive, a man lives in a house. Then there are a few more examples that a horse living in stable, bird on tree, bee in beehive, and man in house. So again you have to remember the name of the animal along with the name of the place where they live, the name of their home. Like we call the place where we live, where human beings live, we call it as house. So the place where horses live, that's called as stable. Where birds live, it's called tree. Where bee lives, it's called beehive. So you have to remember this. Moving on, there are a few more examples. the place where a den lives, which is called as, sorry, a lion lives, it's called as den. And then there is deer. Where does it live? In the grassland. Then there is frog. Where does it live? In the pond. And then there is camel. Where does it live? In the desert. So again, you have to remember the name of the animal along with the place where it lives. So I hope this is clear to you. Now we will talk about the different sizes of animals, okay? You have seen these animals around you. Have you seen they are of do you think they are of same size? Like cat and dog, they are of same size? No, one is bigger than the other. One is smaller than the other. Dog and cat, which one is bigger? Dog is bigger. And which one is smaller? Cat is smaller. So like this, there are so many animals around us and in the world, so they all are of different sizes, okay? One can be bigger than the other, one can be smaller than the other. So different animals are of different sizes. Some animals are very big, like elephants and giraffes. There are some animals which are very big, which are very huge, like elephants. They are very huge. In fact, elephant is the largest animal on land. And giraffe also is very huge, very big. Okay, so there are certain animals which are very big. Some animals are big in size, like buffalo and tiger, etc. Then there are some animals which are just big. They aren't bigger. They aren't bigger than elephant and giraffe. They aren't bigger like elephant and giraffe, but they are just big. They are smaller than the elephant and giraffe, but they are bit bigger than the rest of the animals. They can be bigger than dog. They can be bigger than cat. They can be bigger than this hen. They can be bigger than frog, etc. So such animals like buffalo is one of them, tiger is one of them, lion is one of them, a horse is one of them, cow is one of them. So these are some animals which are big in size. They aren't bigger, but they are just big. Then some are small in size, like frog, cat, etc. Then there are some animals which are very small in size. You know, they are just smaller than the lion. They are smaller than the tiger. They are smaller than the buffalo. They are smaller than horse, etc. So these are some animals which are smaller. Okay, but they aren't the smallest one. They are just smaller. Like there is frog, there is cat, there is dog, there is hen, there is cock, there is goat. So these are some animals which are small in size. And at the end, some are smaller in sizes, like wasps, cockroaches, and ants. Then there are some animals which are the smallest one. You know, there are certain insects which are the smallest. Have you seen any insect which is bigger like an elephant, or which is big like a buffalo, which is even small like the size of a cat? No, I have not seen any insect like that. Because why? What is the reason? Because insect is all almost every insect is of smaller size, like be that wasp, be that mosquito, be that ant, be that earthworm or anything. So all these insects, they are of smaller size. So what we actually got to learn is that the animals that live on this earth, they are of different sizes. Some are small in size, some are smaller in size, and some can be even the smallest one. Then there are some animals which are very big in size. Some can be just only, they are just big. Some are biggest, some are bigger, and some are big. Just to make it more clear, here is this picture. Here you can see four different creatures. First one is an elephant, second one is a tiger, third one is a cat, and fourth one is an ant. So I will ask you, can you tell me which one is the biggest one and which one is the smallest one? Do you think you can actually answer me that? It's obvious. The first one, the elephant, it is the biggest of all. Yeah, it's the bigger one. So that's why I mentioned very big. It's very big. Then in the second picture, there is tiger. So I'm telling you, is it bigger than the animals that are in the picture? Yeah, it is bigger. It is bigger than the cat and it is bigger than the ant, but it is not bigger than the elephant. So that's why it is just big. It's not very big, but it is just big. In the third picture, there is cat. I'm telling you, that is cat bigger than any animal or creature in the pictures? I'm saying yes, it is. It is bigger than ant, but it is smaller than tiger and elephant. So it is small. Okay? And at the end, there is ant. Ant is the smaller one. It is the smallest of all these three. Be that elephant, be that tiger, be that cat. So it is the smallest one. Okay? Moving on. Now we will talk about the movements in animals, the different types of movement that they move from one place to another. In order to understand this, we must know that why do we have to move? Why do animals have to move from one place to another? Why can't they stay at a single place for the rest of their lives? Why do they have to move from one place to another in their in their life? So what's the reason behind it? Okay, the main two reasons that they move from one place to another is in search of food and water and in search of shelter. They have to move in search of food. Animals, if they are staying at a place, it's not important and it's not possible that they will get the food from that place for the rest of their lives. Okay, for example, they can live for like 50 years or for like 20 years, so it's not possible if they are living at a place and they will get the food from that place for 20 years. For that reason they have to move to some other place where they can get food. Okay, so one day they will be at a specific place, they will get the food and water for few days from that place, but after few days they have to move to other place because that food present there won't be enough or there won't be food at all. So for that reason they have to move to some other place to get the food, to get the water. And why do they have to get food and water? In order to live. If they have to live, they have to get food and water, which they cannot get at a single place. So, for that reason, they have to keep moving from one place to another in order to get the food and water. Then the second reason is for shelter. They have also to protect themselves from different kinds of danger, be that any natural factor, be that any man-made factor. For example, natural, when we talk about, there is rain, there is snow, there is storm. So these are some factors that can affect an animal. Okay, they can fall sick because of these things. So for that reason they have to protect themselves. Okay, they have to have a shelter for themselves. So for that reason they also keep moving from one place to another. So these are some reasons that the animals move, that makes animals move from one place to another. Now, animals on land. Now we got to know that animals do move from one place to another. That's very correct. Okay, we got the reasons for that, that they move because for food, for shelter, for water, etc. But now the question arises, which part of the body helps them to move from one place to another? If I will talk about myself, I am a human. If you talk about yourself, you also are human. So which body part helps you to move from one place to another? If you have to get outside your house, if you have to go to school, if you have to go to some other places, you go with help of which body part? What is that body part? It's the legs. So, legs are the body parts that help us to move from one place to another. Similarly, animals also have such kind of body parts that helps them to move from one place to another. So today we are going to talk about that. So the type of body parts that they have, the name of those body parts, and how that helps them to move from one place to another. So, animals use different body parts to move, like legs, wings, fins, etc. So, the animals, that they use, the body parts that they use, they are legs, wings, and fins. Okay, this will be more clear. There is a picture of a camel, there is a picture of a bird and a fish. A camel moves from one place to another with the help of legs. You can see the legs here, right? Then if a bird has to move from one place to another, it will move with the help of these wings. So, wings is the body part which helps birds to move from one place to another. And in the third picture, there is this fish. It has these fins. These are fins, okay, which helps them to move from one place to another. If I said, can you see any leg of fish having? No, there is not any leg. Okay, so they don't have legs. What do they have? They have fins. They have these fins which helps them to move from one place to another. So animals like camel have legs to move from one place to another, birds have wings to move from one place to another, and fish have fins to move from one place to another. Moving on, animals like tiger and cow use their forelegs to move. Now we talk about tiger and cow. Just like camel, these animals also have the forelegs to move. Okay, they use their forelegs to move from one place to another. In fact, dog, cat, horse, etc. There are so many animals which use their forelegs to move from one place to another. Then, animals like bears and apes can move with their hind limbs. Now comes the question, the hind limb. What hind limbs are? For that, we will go back to the previous slide. Here's a picture of the camel, okay? So it has, how many legs does it have? It has four legs. One, two, three, and the one. Yeah, four. So these are the four legs of a camel. These two legs, okay, the front legs, they are called as forelimbs. Okay, so they are called as forelimbs. And the legs that are behind, these are called as hind limbs. Okay, so these two legs are used by the animals like bear, like ape, like chimpanzee, etc. So those animals use these hind limbs to move from one place to another. It's not like they don't use these two also, the four limbs, they do use them, but they can only just move with these two legs also. Okay, so they don't have to use the four of them, they can also only use two legs, these hind limbs, to move from one place to another. Then kangaroos, grasshoppers are hopping animals. Animals like kangaroo and grasshopper, they are called as hopping animals. Hopping animals means the animals which jump. Okay, so if any kangaroo has to move to shift to some other place, so they will jump. They have to jump in order to move. So that's why they are called as hopping animals. Some animals, even having legs, don't use them to move but they crawl. Such animals are called reptiles. Then comes the animals which do have legs. They have legs but they do not use those legs to move. Such animals are called as reptiles. Here is the picture of a crocodile. You can see the legs here, right? But it does not use those legs to move from one place to another, but it crawls, it creeps, it moves slowly on the ground. Okay, so they are called as reptiles. Crocodile is such an animal which crawls, and another one is turtle. So there are so many examples of reptiles which do have legs, but they do not use those legs to move from one place to another, and instead they crawl, they creep. Then, animals like snakes and earthworms don't have legs, they also crawl. Then, there are some animals which don't have legs. They don't have legs like crocodile or turtle, they don't have legs at all, so they also crawl. Example is snake and earthworm. Okay, so here's the picture of the snake. Can you see any leg that snakes have or it has? No, because they don't have legs at all. So they also crawl, they also creep. Moving on, insects like bugs, lice have six legs to walk or crawl. Then there are these insects that live on this earth. They have six legs. Okay, so they have six legs. If they have to move, if they have to crawl, they use these six legs. Here's a picture of an ant, which also is an insect. So how many legs does it have? One, two, three, four, five, six. So it uses these six legs to move from one place to another. Similarly, all the insects having six legs, they use those legs to move from one place to another. And then comes the birds, they have wings that they use to move from one place to another, that they use to fly. Fish. Now talking about fish. Fish neither have legs nor wings to move. Fish are the animals which don't have legs like animal like tiger, like lion, like cow, like horse, etc. They don't have legs like them. They also don't have wings like birds. Okay, they don't have wings, they don't have legs. But what do they have? They use their fins. They have fins which helps them to move from one place to another. So they have these fins. These are the fins, right? So they use these fins to move in water. They use these fins to move, swim in the water. Then ducks. Ducks have webbed feet to swim in water. When it comes to ducks, they have such kind of feet. These are called as webbed feet. Webbed feet are the feet where the toes are joined with each other. Okay, they have these toes. These are the toes, but they are joined with each other. You can see they are joined, so that's why they are called as webbed feet. So ducks have such kind of feet which they use to move to swim in water. So you got to know about the different kinds of body parts that animals have to move, okay, that they use in order to move. Then comes the turtle. Turtle swims with the help of flippers. Turtles, they also have these limbs, like we have legs and arms, they have these limbs which we call flippers. Okay, so they use these flippers to move in water, to swim in water. So, in nutshell, we got to know about the movement, that what is the reason behind the movement of the animals, and we got to know about the different parts that these animals used in order to move. For example, like a cow, like horse, like tiger, like lion, etc. They use their forelegs to move. Then comes the bear and apes, that they use only their hind limbs to move. If they have to go to some other place, they will use their hind limbs. Then comes the kangaroo and grasshoppers. They are called as hopping animals because they jump. So when they have to move from one place to another, they will be using their, they will be jumping basically. Then comes the birds. They have they have these wings that helps them to fly. Then insects, they have six legs which helps them to either crawl or creep. Then comes the reptiles, which use which have legs. They do have legs, but they do not use those legs to move from one place to another, but they crawl. And then there are some animals which do not have legs at all, like snake. They also crawl. Then talking about fish, they have fins because they do not have legs and the wings, so they have fins. Their special body part is fin, which helps them to move or swim in water. Ducks have webbed feet to swim in water, and just like that, turtle have flippers to move in water. So here's this worksheet. There is the picture of different animals, insects, birds also. What you have to do is that you have to categorize them on the basis of their movement. Okay, below is a there's this box and there are different columns. There is this fly, fly, crawl, run, swim, and jump. So you have to categorize these animals, these insects, and birds on the basis of their movement. Okay, and this is supposed to be done by the students only. Parents can assist them, but it should be done by the students. Thank you. I hope you really enjoyed it. Thank you and have a nice day.